Welcome folks to On Your Bike, just north of Aylesbury, my local Ducati dealer, where today I'm going to be riding this, the incredible Ducati Diavel V4. Now this is a bike that I think looks absolutely stunning. If you're interested in this bike, stick around and stay tuned. Hey kids, it's Mr. Fly here, hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another bike review on this absolutely hideous day, as you can see. So the format of this review largely the same as they always are, but I might have to do a bit of it indoors, so because it's just an absolutely hideous day. Anyway, don't let me hear you say I don't do real world reviews here on the channel. Anyway, this is a bike that I kind of passed me by a little bit because I rode the Diavel, the old two-cylinder version, many years ago. In fact, I rented one on holiday in the US, and in fact there are videos on the channel about that. I'll put a link in the corner from there from years and years ago. And although I quite like the bike, it I don't know, I just didn't really gel with it. And when the V4 version came out a couple of years ago, I just it wasn't high on my radar to ride. But boy, how wrong I was, because having just jumped on this, it just feels lovely. The riding position is so much nicer than I remember. In fact, the last bike that had Diavel in the name that I rode was the X Diavel, again the V-twin version, and that was kind of notable to me because it made my back hurt after a while, because your feet are far forward on that, it being a proper cruiser. It meant that after a while I got a bit of pain around me sort of coccyx, whereas so that in my mind sort of made me think, Diavel's cruisers not for me. But already this new to me, V4, absolutely amazing in terms of its comfort. I'm sat lovely and upright, the handlebars are beautifully comfortable, they've got this big sort of scoop rise bit on, and it's a really comfy place to be. I mean, the seat I would say is a little bit hard, but no, it's a comfy old bike. Well, it's not old, but it is comfy. Just get these mirrors adjusted. Right, before we get into the ride too much, let's have a look over the bike, shall we? Alright, so I've come indoors now, it's a little bit drier and warmer. I've even given the bike a little bit of a clean. Anyway, just look at this thing, it is a thing of beauty. I know that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, it's a very subjective thing, but this bike I think looks absolutely incredible. Let me show you some of the little features that I really like about it. Right, starting at the front then, taking a look, actually, I'm not sure what's standard on this bike and what isn't, by the way. This is the demo bike, so there could be some extras bolted on. I suspect this mudguard may be an extra because it's in carbon on this one, but doesn't that look absolutely beautiful? Love the light on here, reminds me a bit of the light on the Monster, very nice indeed. Something I'm not so keen on the front are these indicators. These remind me a bit of Brian the Snail off of Magic the Roundabout. Do you remember him? So I'm not sure about that. On the old Diavel, they used to have the indicators, you remember, built in here somehow, and they used to look pretty cool. So that's a bit of a step back, but other than that, we'll just park that for now. Lovely levers on here, all adjustable as well. I do like these brake reservoirs, the fact that they're not the sort of Mickey Mouse ones. These are very nice. In fact, these are the Rizoma ones, so I imagine these are optional extras, I would think. Yeah, very, very nice. Coming around here, let's have a look at the top here. We've got some more carbon here, which is probably an extra as well. We've got a Rizoma. There's loads of extras on here. This is the little Rizoma fuel camp as well, but looks really, really nice. Coming down here, a couple of things that really strike me. First off, this exhaust. Now, normally, these look much nicer. I have given it a bit of a rinse off the bike, but this is a bit dirtier than you would have it normally. But look at those 4 stacked pipes. How cool do they look? Absolutely fantastic. Sort of it is a V4, of course, and these all come out of the one pipe anyway, so it's just an aesthetic thing. But boy, it doesn't half look good, doesn't it? And then if that's not enough to feast your eyes on, come to this rear wheel. Again, a bit dirtier than normal. I've given it a cursory wipe over, but what a beautiful thing. All sort of machined aluminium with the lovely gloss black. I think this is called diamond cut, isn't it? I think, but just looks superb, doesn't it? And with the single-sided swing arm as well. Absolutely fantastic. And then the pièce de resistance is when you come to the rear end. Not only do you have these very clever passenger pegs that just fold out like that. I wouldn't want to be a passenger on this, but the rear light is something special. Let me just bring the bike to life. It's keyless, so you press that button there. You get the little dance on the TFT, which looks fantastic. And then when you come around to the back, check out this rear light. That's what you see when you're following her. What an absolute beauty. Let me just stick the indicators on, see what they look like. In fact, to do better than that, hazard lights. In fact, the indicators are down here, look. So these are the progressive ones. I think these are extras as well. In fact, I'm having some of these fitted on my my Streetfighter. They look really cool. Not sure actually, I say that, I mean the indicators look cool and that light looks cool, but I'm not sure about this whole bit up the bottom here. I mean, it definitely stops all the crud going up your back, that's for sure. It's all a bit wet and dank around this side, not so much to see, and I haven't cleaned this side, so we'll skip over that quickly. What I do like is these backlit switch gear, looks really good, and yeah, lovely looking thing. This light does remind me of the Monster. Anyway, so that's what she looks like. Sorry we're indoors for this bit, but needs must given the weather. Let's ride her some more.
Okay, welcome back to a rainy Waddesdon. It is, believe it or not, when I'm recording this, still summer. It's late August. But summer seems to have abruptly come to an end today, which is a shame. I've actually got this bike because I've dropped my own Streetfighter off back at On Your Bike for some work to be done. And they very kindly said while it was in, did I want to borrow a bike to review, so hence the Diavel. It's sort of in a category of its own. I mentioned the Diavel is an out-and-out cruiser with the feet forward riding position and so on. This is more a sort of muscle bike, I suppose. And I can't think of any other bikes that sort of sit in the muscle bike category quite in the way that this does. The big difference between this and the Diavel, of course, not only the looks and the riding position, but in particular that the feet position. So the pegs on here are, well, they are mid-set pegs. They're not, my legs are at a slightly acute angle. They're not exactly right angles, but as I say, it is comfortable. Now I'm hoping through all this rain you can still see okay. I'll give you a little clean every now and then in the hope that you get some sort of a picture. The dash layout here, if that's the right word, very neat indeed. The TFT, very familiar to me. It's exactly the same by the looks of it as the one on my Streetfighter, with one very important addition. This one's got a fuel gauge. Don't get that on the Streetfighter V4, so big thumbs up for that. And the switchgear, very familiar in terms of its you know what it does. If you're used to Ducati switchgear, you'll be able to use this no problem at all. The thing that it has got that my Streetfighter hasn't, and many other bikes don't have, as you can probably see, is backlit switchgear. Of course, Ducati do give the Multistrada V4 backlit switchgear, don't they? So I guess it's lifted from there, I don't know, or it's the same switchgear, but it's nice to see that. It doesn't really matter when it's light, of course, but riding at night, that makes a big difference. So glad to see that. Now, because it's such a wet, slippery and horrible day, I'm not going to be able to really give this bike the beans today. Not that it's the sort of bike that I would necessarily give the beans to anyway. I mean, it is very powerful. We'll go through the specs in a minute in the usual way. It's something like 160 odd brake horsepower, the engine in this configuration. And it sounds quite different to the V4 in my Streetfighter. I thought they had the same engine actually, but I don't think that's the case. The engine in the Diavel is the Gran Turismo V4, and it sounds very different to the one that's in the Streetfighter. Right, I think we're stuck behind a tractor. Very agile feeling bike this. Very friendly as well. I mean, it's very easy to ride. It's so much better than I remember the old V2 version being. Clutch is lovely and light on here. Gearbox feels excellent, and slow speeds, that here we are just drifting along behind this white van, absolutely not complaining at all. Lovely and smooth. All these roadworks, I think, are to do with HS2, the scourge of the London to Birmingham route at the moment, causing so much chaos along the route. Anyway, let's not get into that. Alrighty, lost a bit of traffic, so we can open her up a little bit. So I do quite like the sound of this engine. Probably can't hear it on the mic so well. It has got a nice V4 sound about it, and my goodness me, it's quickly up to speed. I just glanced at the speedo there and realised I was already into illegal territory. So yeah, my goodness me, this thing is quick. It's effortless as well, it really is. These roads are really bumpy around here, but the suspension seems nice and set just in what I call that Goldilocks zone. It's not too soft, it's not too hard. You know, it's not all wallowy and bouncy as you might expect of a bike that looks like this. It's got some firmness about it, but it's not so firm it's jarring your fillings out your teeth over every bump. Oh no, I'm really liking this. This is a very civilised place to be. I mean, it's humming along here in this effortless manner, and it's comfortable manner, and there's no drama. I'm loving it, except for the weather. Not loving that. Quick shifter works beautifully well on here, as do the brakes actually, which have got a lovely bit of feel to them. Nice and progressive, there's no sudden on-off feeling with the brakes. Yeah, very, very nice. Quite like to see these brake and clutch reservoirs as well. Look, massive Diavel logos on the top of them, but these are so much preferable, aren't they, to the sort of, you know, classic piss pot ones that you get on so many bikes. What I'm not so keen on are these mirrors. These are the Ducati mirrors that they have on a number of their bikes, but I like the look of them and they work all right, so no problems there, but they're just a bit odd to adjust. They sort of only move in one plane, so unless you've got this bit adjusted correct, you can't always get them in exactly the right point. I mean, a small point, it's not going to put you off buying the bike, of course, but I just thought I'd mention it. Alright, while I'm waiting at the lights, let's go through the specification, shall we?
Right, to the numbers. First off, as ever, the engine. This is the 1158cc V4 Gran Turismo. Puts out 168 brake horsepower in this configuration, 126 Newton meters of torque. It's got that clever counter-rotating crank and twin pulse firing order. It's also got that clever rear cylinder cut-off feature. Brakes on the front, taken care of by two 330mm discs with 4-pot Brembo style EMMA calipers. On the rear, tucked in there, you've got a 265mm disc with a 2-pot caliper. Suspension on the front taken care of by a 50mm adjustable upside down fork, and the back end you've got this fully adjustable monoshock. Seat height is a beautifully low 790mm. Wet weight of the bike, but with no fuel, weird way to quote it I know, is 223 kilograms. Tank capacity on the bike is 20 litres, but this will be 30, so it's just as well it's quite big. Electronics wise, you name it, it's got it basically. It's got this 5-inch TFT, daylight running lights, riding modes, power modes, cornering, ABS and traction control, wheelie control, all that caper. Basically, check out the Ducati website for details, it's got the lot. And price wise, this bike, the standard bike, starts at £23,995. So it ain't cheap, but boy, it's quite something, isn't it?
Well, I'm still waiting at the lights, but while I am, look, I can just show you my feet flat down on the deck. Really nice, low, sensible seat height on here. Means that it's very confidence inspiring. It doesn't feel heavy at all. I mean, it looks quite a big intimidating bike, but when you're sat on it, it's not intimidating at all. It's just a big old comfy friendly lump. I like it. A couple of scooterists up here look like they're well kitted out for a tour or something. Noticed I pulled away in second gear there. Just shows how much grunt this engine's got. Didn't complain whatsoever. Wow, what a day to be riding, eh? I think they did the launch of this bike in the south of France in the summer. Lots of YouTubers went along, had a great time in the sunshine. How different when we ride these bikes in the real world. I have to say, I hate riding in weather like this. There's nothing to, there's no upside to it, is it? The only reason I'm out is because, as I mentioned, I was taking my Streetfighter on your bike to get some work done. But given I am out in this weather on this bike, it just shows how good it is, because it's not intimidating in the slightest, given it has got all that power, the massive back wheel. It's not giving me the heebie-jeebies riding it. It's not difficult to ride at all. I'm in touring mode at the moment. I suppose really I should be in wet mode, shouldn't I? But this feels good. Alrighty, time now as usual to come to my local train station and do my lugging about test. This is where I park the bike up in the middle of a parking space, check out what the turning circle's like, and also see what it's like to manhandle around, or woman handle. You have to be careful about those things these days. or person handle. Let's go there. Oh, actually no, let's not say that, because then I get accused of being politically correct. Anyway, let's not worry about all that. So in we come. Park her up in the middle here, see what she's like to find neutral. Pretty easy actually. And the side stand, very easy to find. Nice. This keyless, look, little button there, fabulous. So there she is, the mighty Diavel V4, now looking very messy and wet. Sorry on your bike about that. Anyway, let's see what she's like to get off the side stand. Piece of cake, very light indeed. And round we go, full lock. Let's see what the turning circle's like. I'm not expecting it to have a great turning circle, to be honest. Let's see, it feels like it's coming quite wide. Round we go. Feels nice and light as well. And there we go. So that was middle of that, and it's gone to the sort of outside edge of that, so that does actually make that quite a wide turning circle. Not a problem, because it's actually quite light to lift off the side stand and so on. I think this would be very easy to live with. The low seat height, everything about it makes it easier to live with. So yeah, it's a thumbs up for shifting it around in your garage. At higher speeds, the Diavel is really nice actually. Of course, you've got very little in the way of wind protection, but the airflow is completely smooth that hits you. So even if you're doing like long journeys and you're on motorways and things, I don't think this would be too bad, you know. Yeah, struggling to find things that I don't like about this bike. Alright, I'm not liking the look of the clouds ahead. If the weather wasn't bad enough already, looks like it might be about to get even worse. So I guess I better get my summary in quick before the weather gets even worse. So what are the pros and cons of this bike on this brief first ride? Well, this doesn't happen very often, but I have to say there aren't any cons that I've come up with. Everything about this bike I absolutely love. I love the looks of it, I love the way it rides, it goes and stops well, it handles well, it looks, I said it looks good, but it's, I mean, it's a really cool thing. Sounds alright. I mean, I suppose the price is a bit salty, but it's an exotic Ducati. What do you expect? I'm a convert to the Diavel now. I absolutely love it. How foolish was I to poo-poo this version of it, because it is a lovely, lovely bike. And this is now firmly in that list of bikes that, you know, I do a test ride, I think, you know what, I wouldn't mind owning one of those. So I must say a huge thank you to Mike and the guys at On Your Bike for letting me borrow the bike for this short period while mine was in. But I think I'll be talking to Ducati UK to see if I get myself a longer term loan of one of these and sort of treat that as a bit of a test ride, because it really is a lovely thing. There aren't that many bikes I ride on these sort of reviews that I do, and I think, you know, I'd like one of those myself. And at the moment I can only think of probably 3 bikes that I would quite like if and when I come to swap out any bikes in my garage, and 2 of those are Ducatis. I'm becoming a Ducati fanboy. Anyway, on that note, I shall bid you farewell. I'm going to go home and get dried off, and look forward to speaking to you again soon. If you've not hit the subscribe button, please do so. I don't just do wet, quick bike reviews here on the channel. Also do bits and pieces about looking after your bike in your garage. I do trips and tours, home and abroad, monthly bike news, even the odd live stream. I'll try and put a good bit of variety on the channel, so it'd be great to have you along. Hit that subscribe button to say if you've not done so already, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, this has been the Mr. and Flyer. Cheerio. I was just thinking, did I say there are 3 bikes that I might look to replace with those in my garage in the future, and 2 are Ducatis? Well, actually I was wrong there. There's 4 potential bikes that I quite fancy on the market at the moment, and 3 of them are Ducatis. So that's even more, makes me even more of a fanboy, doesn't it? But in case you're wondering, the one that's not a Ducati is the Triumph Street Triple. I absolutely love that, and I can see me having another one of those in due course. Although I haven't ridden the Speed Triple, the current one. That might be an option. But the 3 Ducatis that I really loved and I can see me owning in the future are the Monster, which I've always loved. I'm kind of holding off to wait and see what that looks like with the new V2 engine, and I'm kind of guessing that might come out at EICMA this year, I don't know. So that's one, definitely love that bike. The Multistrada V4, which is my favourite adventure bike you can buy today. It's a cracking bike, especially it's now got that lowering technology. Really love that. And now this, the Diavel V4. 3 absolutely cracking bikes. In fact, if I just had those 3 bikes in my garage, I'd have all the bases covered, wouldn't I? Maybe stick a Panigale V2 in there just for good measure, so I've got a sports bike. Blimey, I am becoming a fanboy.